Doctor's warning, walking too much after 70 could age you faster.
There's a certain kind of peace in the early morning, when the streets are still draped in soft light, and the world has yet to stir. In neighborhoods across the country, a familiar scene unfolds. An elderly man, silver hair catching the dawn, laces up his walking shoes and steps onto the quiet sidewalk. His stride is slow, deliberate, yet determined. Every morning, he walks, a mile, then two, sometimes even more. Neighbors nod approvingly, whispering, "He's strong for his age. See how disciplined he is," and deep inside, he believes it too, that every step he takes is a step away from weakness, a step closer to longevity. After all, isn't movement life itself? But what if, beneath the surface of this noble ritual, something else is happening, something no one talks about, something even he doesn't notice, until it's too late? Joints, quietly eroding under repetitive strain, heart, struggling under an unseen burden, muscles, thinning, shrinking, even as the body seems to be in motion. Because you see, after 70, the rules of the body change. What once built resilience, now threatens fragility. What once preserved youth, now risks accelerating age. The tragedy, it's not a lack of effort. It's misplaced effort. Thousands, maybe millions of elders, every single morning, walking diligently toward what they believe is health, only to be quietly speeding their decline, not because walking is wrong, but because walking too much, too long, too hard after 70 is not what the body truly needs anymore. There is a silent crisis unfolding in plain sight, one paved by good intentions, but leading toward hidden dangers. Today, we'll open a new conversation, one that challenges what you thought you knew about movement, aging, and vitality, one that could change, perhaps even save, the way you live your years after 70. Because survival is not enough, longevity without vitality is a hollow victory, and the real secret? It's not in moving more, it's in moving smarter, deeper, wiser. Let's step into the truth together. The real story begins now. We were taught from the beginning that movement was the fountain of youth. Keep moving, they said. Stay active, stay young, and so we listened, we believed, and we moved, with hope tucked inside every stride. But what no one ever told us is that after 70, movement, like medicine, demands the right dosage, because when good intentions go unchecked, they can quietly morph into silent harm. Let's look beneath the surface. Every time you walk, your knees absorb up to 3 times your body weight, your hips, your ankles, your spine. They bear the silent impact of every step. At 30, 40, even 50, your cartilage is thick, your joints resilient, but after 70? The natural cushioning thins, the regeneration slows to a crawl, the microscopic cracks become crevices, then canyons, and you don't notice at first. You feel strong, you tell yourself, a little soreness is normal. You brush it off, you walk it off, but inside, a quiet war is being waged. Tiny fibers of muscle begin to fray faster than they heal. Inflammation, once a loyal guardian, now overstays its welcome, gnawing at tissues, clouding clarity, exhausting the body's precious reserves. Your heart, noble and fierce, beats harder to keep pace, pushing against arteries that have grown less forgiving with time. Each mile taxes it a little more, drawing from a well that doesn't refill as easily as it once did. And so the cruel paradox unfolds. You walk, believing you are fortifying yourself, but you are, unintentionally, chiseling away at your own foundation. This isn't about fear, it's about wisdom. It's about knowing that the body at 70 is a different kingdom than the body at 30. The terrain has changed, the old maps no longer guide the way, new rules must be learned, new paths must be honored. Because in truth, the goal was never to simply move, but to move in harmony with the body's evolving needs. The body speaks, it always has, but after 70, its voice grows softer, easier to miss, and far more important to hear. Movement, the very word feels alive, doesn't it? It paints pictures of vitality, freedom, strength. For decades, we equated motion with life itself. Keep moving and you'll stay young, they promised. Keep walking and you'll outrun aging. But what if movement could deceive us? What if not all movement leads to life? Here's the truth that few dare to say aloud. Movement without purpose, movement without balance, movement without understanding, can hollow you out from the inside. Walking alone, as noble as it seems, is not the shield we once believed it to be, because walking, by itself, works a narrow band of muscles, overloads specific joints, and neglects the hidden architects of true vitality, balance, strength, flexibility, and deep core stability. Imagine a ship, endlessly drifting across the sea. It moves, yes, but without anchor, without compass. Each mile is a journey closer to wreckage, not rescue. Our bodies, after 70, are that ship. They don't just need movement, they need movement with meaning, movement that listens, movement that adapts. Walking strengthens certain patterns, but it leaves others to wither quietly. The stabilizers deep within your hips, your spine, your ankles, the ones that catch you when you slip, they weaken with every mindless mile. Your fast twitch muscles, the very fibers that react when you stumble, atrophy slowly, almost imperceptibly, until one day, a misplaced step, a loose sidewalk tile, a slippery floor, and the fall comes, not because you stopped walking, but because you walked blindly, trusting movement alone to save you. We thought we were investing in life, but sometimes, we were spending it, quietly, with every step. But here's the beauty, it's never too late to change course. Vitality after 70 isn't built on walking more, it's built on moving better. It's not about chasing miles, it's about cultivating strength, balance, grace, because the secret isn't just motion, it's mindful motion, whole body motion, intelligent, intentional, integrated movement. The good news, the body, even now, is listening, waiting, yearning for a wiser rhythm. It happened, as awakenings often do, in the most ordinary of moments, a small-town coffee shop, a cloudy Tuesday morning, and a conversation that would ripple out, changing the course of a life. Frank was 72, a man of habit, of routine. Each morning, rain or shine, he walked exactly 5 miles. He wore it like a badge of honor, until the day his knees gave out. It wasn't a fall, it wasn't even pain at first, it was emptiness, a frightening sense that his body was slipping away. Even as he tried harder to hold on, sitting at his usual table, nursing a black coffee, he caught the eye of a stranger, a woman, mid-50s, calm presence, quiet strength. She noticed the way Frank shifted uncomfortably, the slight wince he tried to hide, the fatigue written between the lines of his smile, and in a voice as gentle as falling rain, she said, "You walk a lot, don't you?" Frank nodded proudly. "Every morning. 5 miles. Keeps me young," he said. The woman smiled kindly. "Or maybe," she said, leaning in, "it's slowly wearing you down." Frank blinked, caught off guard. No one had ever said that to him before, no one had ever dared. Her name was Dr. Evelyn Hart, a specialist in geriatric movement science, a pioneer in a quiet revolution few had heard of, vital movement medicine for aging bodies. She explained it simply, but the words hit like thunder. Your body isn't a machine to be driven harder, it's a garden to be tended smarter. Frank leaned in, heart pounding. "But I thought walking was the key," he said. "Everyone says so." Dr. Hart smiled sadly. "Walking is wonderful, in balance, but after 70, walking alone can be like watering only one part of the garden, while the roots elsewhere dry and die." She spoke of micro-movements, balance training, slow strength rituals, of the small, sacred exercises that restored the deep architecture of the body, the tendons, the stabilizers, the reaction muscles we don't see, but utterly depend on. She told him stories of elders who regained not just strength, but grace, agility, lightness, not by walking farther, but by walking wiser, by learning when to move, how to move, and just as importantly, when to rest. For Frank, it was a crack in the wall, a tiny shaft of light, hope, where before there had only been silent decline. He decided that morning, over a cooling cup of coffee, to unlearn everything he thought he knew, to listen to his body with new ears, to move, not from fear of decay, but from love of vitality, because true aging well isn't about doing more, it's about doing better. With wisdom, with reverence, with joy. And so, Frank's real journey began, not down endless sidewalks chasing time, but inward, toward a deeper strength, a steadier flame. Dr. Hart didn't believe in long lectures, she believed in blueprints, clear, simple, transformative. Sitting across from Frank, she pulled out a blank sheet of paper. In the center, she drew a small circle, and around it, 4 arrows pointing outward. "This," she said, tapping the center, "is you, not just your legs, not just your heart, you, as a whole." Each arrow, she explained, represented a pillar of movement that mattered after 70, strength, balance, flexibility, recovery. Most people only chase cardio, more steps, more miles, she said, but without these 4 working together, it's like trying to sail with one oar. You go in circles, you burn out. Frank listened, wide-eyed. For the first time, aging didn't feel like a slow surrender, it felt navigable. Strength was about rebuilding the silent muscles, the glutes, the core, the stabilizers, the ones that catch you when you trip, that lift you from chairs, that keep your bones dense and defiant. It wasn't about lifting heavy weights, it was about mindful resistance, slow squats, chair rises, gentle but deliberate arm pulls with elastic bands, movements that spoke the body's new language. "I honor your strength, let's rebuild together." Balance was the secret weapon, because falls, not illness, are the greatest threat after 70. Each day, Dr. Hart taught Frank the art of wobble training, standing on one foot by the kitchen counter, eyes closed, reaching slowly forward and back, tiny, almost invisible corrections happening deep within the nervous system, rewiring balance, renewing trust. Balance isn't a trick, it's a practice. The shield, flexibility, was not about touching toes like a gymnast, it was about fluidity, simple rotations of the shoulders, gentle opening of the hips, ankle circles before stepping out of bed, movements that whispered to aging tissues, "You are still young enough to move like water." Recovery was the most radical pillar, the one no one talked about. True strength isn't just built in motion, it's built in stillness, Dr. Hart prescribed. Active recovery days, where Frank did nothing more than stretch, breathe deeply, and take mindful walks, not chasing steps, not measuring miles, simply honoring the body's rhythms. Rest isn't weakness. She said, rest is repair, rest is wisdom manifesting through the body. Frank absorbed every word like medicine. His new exercise routine wasn't brutal, it didn't leave him exhausted, it left him energized, clearer, stronger. Within weeks, he noticed he stood taller without trying, he caught himself when he stumbled and didn't fall. He climbed stairs without clinging to the railing, he laughed more, he slept deeper. He began living, not merely moving, because now, his movement was no longer fighting age, it was flowing with it. He wasn't trying to be 30 again, he was mastering the art of being 70, and alive in every cell of his being. This is the hidden truth that modern life forgot to teach us. Aging is not a defeat, it's a different kind of strength, one built not on endless effort, but on wise, compassionate movement, and anyone, at any moment, can choose to step onto this new path, just like Frank did, just like you can. Hope is a beautiful thing, but hope alone isn't enough. Frank understood this now. He didn't just want to feel better, he wanted to be better, stronger, steadier, more alive. And so, Dr. Hart gave him something more valuable than a prescription, a plan, a roadmap to reclaim the body's forgotten wisdom, a daily ritual, simple enough to begin immediately, yet powerful enough to change everything. She called it the Vitality Reboot. It wasn't about sweating buckets, it wasn't about punishing discipline, it was about small, sacred movements, done with intention, designed to awaken four ancient pillars inside the body: strength, balance, flexibility, and recovery. Here's how Frank's first week looked. Day 1, awakening strength. We begin at the foundation, Dr. Hart said. Simple chair squats, stand up from a chair slowly, without using your hands, and sit back down, 10 times, slow, deliberate, feeling every muscle fire, each movement a message: I am here. I am strong. Day 2, discovering balance. Next came balance training, standing beside a countertop for safety. Frank practiced standing on one foot for 30 seconds, first with eyes open, then, as confidence grew, gently closing them. Wobbling wasn't failure, wobbling was the body remembering. Day 3, unlocking flexibility. Flexibility day wasn't about stretching to pain. It was about inviting openness. Frank gently rotated his shoulders, swung his arms, circled his ankles and wrists, moved his hips side to side, like waking up forgotten rivers inside his body. Motion is lotion, Dr. Hart reminded him, smiling. Day 4, embracing recovery. No workouts today, just mindful walking, deep breathing, listening to the wind, feeling his feet touch the earth, because rest is medicine too. Day 5, building deeper strength. Elastic resistance bands entered the picture. Frank performed simple rows, pulling the band toward his chest, strengthening the muscles that keep posture tall and proud. Each pull, a declaration: I refuse to shrink from life. Day 6 is balance in motion. This time, walking became an art. Frank practiced heel-to-toe walking along a line, like a tightrope walker in his own living room, core engaged, mind sharp. Heart steady. Day 7, full body renewal, a combination of it all: gentle squats, shoulder rolls, balancing steps, deep breathing under the morning sun, not punishment, not exhaustion, rebirth, and slowly, day by day, movement became something sacred again, not a chore, not a race against time, but a dance with life itself. Frank began to trust his body, to feel joy in his steps, to greet each morning with a new kind of hunger, not for miles, but for mastery. He realized something profound: after 70, we don't move to fight aging, we move to befriend it. Each stretch, each balance, each breath, a conversation with time itself. Not begging for youth, but commanding vitality. And through this journey, Frank found what so many had lost: freedom, dignity, pride in the power of being fully, gloriously alive, at any age. Aging was never meant to be a slow, silent retreat, it was meant to be a powerful evolution, a transformation into something richer, deeper, stronger. Frank stood by the window now, watching the sunrise. He was no longer chasing his past, he was standing fully in his present, and for the first time in decades, He wasn't afraid of the future, he welcomed it, because the real secret Dr. Hart had revealed was not just about movement, or muscles, or balance, it was about reclaiming ownership of the body, of the spirit, of life itself. Every step Frank took now wasn't a step toward decline, it was a victory march. Every breath he drew wasn't stolen from borrowed time. It was a song of gratitude, an anthem of resilience, and this is the truth waiting for all of us. Vitality isn't a number, youth isn't a decade, life doesn't end at 70. Unless we choose to stop living, the world will try to tell you otherwise. It will whisper that you're too old, too fragile, too late. But the greatest wisdom lies in knowing your soul is timeless, your spirit is fierce, and your best days? They are not behind you, they are ahead, brighter than ever. You carry within you a fire that age cannot extinguish, a river that still flows wild and free. You have stories left to write, songs left to sing, sunrises left to chase. You are not done yet. And if this message stirred something deep inside you, if you believe, like Frank believed, that life after 70 can be the most beautiful chapter yet, then I invite you to join our growing family here. Subscribe to our channel, like this video if it touched your heart, share it with someone you love, someone who deserves to hear that their story isn't over, and leave a comment below. Tell us, what dream, what passion, what adventure still burns bright within you, because here, we don't just grow older, we grow wiser, stronger, and we rise together. This is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of your greatest chapter. Thank you for being here, thank you for believing, and until we meet again, keep moving, keep dreaming, keep shining, the best is yet to come.